Hey guys, Fiend Folio was updated and got some cool new items for you to find. In this video I want to show you the crazy new secret room item Isaac D's Eulogy. The basic idea of the item is simple. Every time you kill an enemy, there's a chance for any random dice item to activate for free, like the D6 and spin down dice right here. The random dice effect can be from any active item dice in the game, both from Repentance as well as Fiend Folio itself. The only exception to this rule is the D Infinity. It is important to note that some dice can only trigger when it makes sense for them to do so. For example, you will never get the D6 when there are no items around. The D1 and D20 will be thrown into the pool of possible outcomes if pickups are on the ground, while the D6, Eternal D6, Loaded D6 and Spin Down dice will be possible with items present. Fiend Folio also comes with a dice item that affects trinkets, the Azerite Spin Down. You can make use of this by dropping your trinket on the ground before fighting new enemies. However, keep in mind that trinkets also count as pickups for the D20. You basically always run the risk of losing your trinket when doing this. Good luck. I have to admit that items are only rarely available in rooms that contain enemies, but there are still lots of cool things that you can do. Just think out of the box. It is also worth to mention that the different dice have different weights attached to it. Dice like the D2, D8 and D10 are more likely to trigger than, for example, the D7. The D12 is also one of the more common dice effects to activate from the Eulogy, which can give you a lot of value in rooms with many obstacles like this one. The Eulogy is also able to trigger the D4 or D100 dice, which will reroll all of your passive items. The chance for this is luckily ridiculously low at 1 out of 10,000. I say luckily because the D4 and D100 will also reroll the Eulogy itself. Having them at a high chance would just turn the item into a single-use reroll of your setup, which would be really boring. Before I continue the explanation, I have to make you aware of two dice that are very important for the Eulogy. Did you know that the D10 item was reworked recently? Just in case you didn't, it doesn't randomly reroll foes anymore, but will instead quote-unquote devolve them into their weaker forms. This makes it really strong for the Eulogy item. However, the latest Fiend Folio update added a new dice called the Rusty D10, which basically does exactly what the D10 did in the base game before its rework. This one is obviously very dangerous for the Eulogy, as it can make rooms a lot harder. Be wary of that. Both the D10 and the Rusty D10 have the same medium chance to trigger from the Eulogy proc. However, we are not done with D10 shenanigans yet. Fiend Folio also comes with yet another variant, the Eternal D10. This one can either reroll or delete enemies entirely. Compared to the D10, which is always helpful, and the Dusty D10, which is mostly harmful, this one will probably be in the middle. The Eulogy can trigger all three of them. The 3 D10 items are especially crucial in boss fights that constantly spawn enemies. You can get very lucky, but it can also get out of control in the wrong way really fast. Before we wrap up the video, I want to fill you in on the chance for the item to trigger in the first place. First of all, the base chance for it at 0 luck is 10%. Increasing your luck stat will further raise the chance by 2.5% for each point. You reach a 100% chance to trigger the Eulogy with each kill at 36 luck. The Fiend Folio team also made sure that the Eulogy stacks with itself. Each new copy of it will increase its chance to trigger, so it may be worth it to duplicate the item. There's also a pity value that slightly increases the chance every time the item does not trigger after a kill. This pity chance resets every time you get a dice effect. The Eulogy is obviously not balanced around having 9 copies of it or starting with 36 luck. But if you want a wacky challenge, this will be a really fun setting for a run. I really hope you enjoyed my showcase of this chaotic new Fiend Folio item. Good luck finding it in your own runs, and I hope to see you again in my next Isaac showcase. Bye!
He's the number one. Isaac! God's favorite son. this flowing rose reach down from heaven.